Hello, how are you? Family of telemathematics. Welcome to a new video of our channel. So let's get started. To start the video, the first thing you need to understand is what is a fraction. The answer can be simple, understanding that a fraction is a part of something, but with the condition that it must be a division into equal parts. For example, we have a cake, pie, or whatever you call it in your country, which has been divided into 8 equal parts, and when you take one of those parts, you are taking a fraction of it. Now, in mathematics, numerical fractions are a way of expressing a divided quantity, similar to what we explained with the cake. In other words, fractions are composed of two elements, the numerator and the denominator. But what are the numerator and denominator? We already know that in every fraction, the element at the top is called the numerator, and this corresponds to the value that indicates how many parts are taken from the unit. And the element at the bottom is called the denominator, and this corresponds to the value that indicates how many equal parts the unit is divided into. Let's look at some examples. The first figure corresponds to the fraction 1 divided by 2, where the number 2 represents the number of parts into which the unit has been divided, and the number 1 represents the number of parts that were taken. The second figure corresponds to the fraction 2 divided by 5, where the number 5 represents the number of parts into which the unit has been divided, and the number 2 represents the number of parts that were taken. The third figure corresponds to the fraction 5 divided by 8, where the number 8 represents the number of parts into which the unit has been divided, and the number 5 represents the number of parts that were taken. The fourth figure corresponds to the fraction 6 divided by 8, where the number 8 represents the number of parts into which the unit has been divided, and the number 6 represents the number of parts that were taken. The fifth figure corresponds to the fraction 4 divided by 5, where the number 5 represents the number of parts into which the unit has been divided, and the number 4 represents the number of parts that were taken. Now, how do you read a fraction? It may seem complicated, but don't worry, with this guide it will be very easy. The numerator of a fractional number is read with cardinal numbers, that is, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. The denominator of a fractional number is read using partitive numbers, that is, the number 2 is read as halves, the number 3 is read as thirds, the number 4 is read as quarters, the number 5 is read as fifths, the number 6 is read as sixths, and so on up to the number 10. Starting with the number 11, the number is read as a cardinal number ending in THS. That is, the number 11 is read as elevenths, the number 12 is read as twelfths, the number 13 is read as thirteenths, the number 14 is read as fourteenths, and so on. Then, taking into account the above, how do you read the first fraction? 1/2. How do you read the second fraction? 2/5. How do you read the third fraction? 5/8. How do you read the fourth fraction? 7/6. How do you read the fifth fraction? 3/18. How do you read the sixth fraction? 6/11. How do you read the seventh fraction? 4/13. Very good. Next, we will do an activity. Write the fraction that corresponds to each figure. Literal A. The fraction corresponds to 1/5. Literal B. the fraction corresponds to 3/8. Literal C, the fraction corresponds to 2/3. Literal D, the fraction corresponds to 4/6. Literal E, the fraction corresponds to 3/5. Literal F, the fraction corresponds to 3/6. Literal G, the fraction corresponds to 7/8. Literal H, the fraction corresponds to 3/4. Very good. I hope you have understood the topic, but if you have any questions, review the material again or let us know so we can help you.
If you liked the video, I encourage you to give it a like, to subscribe if you haven't done it yet, and to activate notifications so you can see the new topics that we will be releasing, to leave us your comments, and to share it with your friends. Until the next video,